Hello, my name is Chris Gilbert and I am a senior programmer here at Bayshore Solutions. Today I would like to talk to you about website quality considerations, or more importantly, why you shouldn't have your nephew build your website. You may be thinking that your technology-savvy nephew, cousin, friend of a friend, or neighbor kid down the street with his fancy laptop and computer skills should build your website. However, this person is probably not going to be taking into account all the considerations that result in a high-quality website. There are many factors that go into building a great website and lots of items that need to be considered. These items include accessibility, navigation, design, content, security, technical considerations, and marketing. So let's dive right in. Accessibility and usability need to be taken into account in every great website. Someone once said that usability is like oxygen. You only notice it when it is missing. One of the big accessibility items is the usage of alt attributes. The alt attribute is used to display alternative text when an element cannot be displayed or rendered. It is also used by screen reader software that is used by the blind. Along the same line, the readability of your website needs to be considered. This includes taking into account users with color blindness and other vision impairments. Next, your site needs to be usable across multiple browsers. It needs to display and function correctly and consistently across all the modern browsers such as Internet Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, Opera, Safari, and others. In addition, it needs to work in earlier versions of these browsers, or at least degrade gracefully, meaning that if features and functionality in the original design are not available, the page is still presentable. A good way to make sure of all these things is by using valid HTML and CSS markup. These include making sure tags are correctly formed, have the proper semantic markup, that is, are used for the right purpose, and are currently not obsolete or deprecated. The next important feature of a great website is navigation. How intuitive is it to navigate? Users coming to your website need to be able to quickly figure out how your site navigation works and where they can find what they came looking for. How clear is your navigation? Do you have buttons that look like text or vice versa, or items that appear clickable that aren't, which can confuse and frustrate your site visitors? Also, when you add a hyperlink, is it clear where it goes, or does it just say click here? Next, does your website have a clear purpose, and is it obvious? The purpose of the site must become clear within a few seconds within reading little or no text at all. Lastly, does your site have a logical sitemap available? This is not only used for search engines, but users looking for the hierarchy and organization of your website. If you don't have a sitemap, is there any kind of keyword search option available so users can find the content they came looking for? Navigation is just one element of your overall design. The design is one of the most important features of a great website. We've all seen websites from those that are visually appealing and beautiful to look at those that are terrible and even hurt your eyes. Next is the choice of colors that make up the design. There's a lot of research into the way different colors can set mood, convey emotion, as well as convince visitors to buy more products. Another factor of design is considering the audience of your website. From young to old, or in varying demographics, design elements that are targeted for your specific audience are much more useful than those that are more generic. Lastly, is your design responsive? More and more today, users are accessing websites on mobile phones and tablets, as well as laptop and desktop computers. Is your design optimized in a way so that it looks good across multiple screen sizes? They say content is king these days. Informative content will propel your site from good to great. Is your website copy succinct and informative? Does the copywriting style suit the website's purpose and speak to its target audience? How easy is your content to read? Do you include too much jargon? Is there a sufficient contrast between the text and background color that make it easy to read? Also, your content should be broken appropriately in chunks and make use of headers and bulleted lists to assist in skimming. The easiest way to lose credibility and appear amateur is to have spelling errors on your website. Take the time to ensure that there are no typos. Lastly, you want to make sure your content is updated regularly. Nobody wants to stick around on a site that looks like it hasn't been updated for years. Security is a very important consideration for any website. You want to make sure that there are not any obvious security flaws that can be exploited by hackers. This includes making sure your forms are resilient to special characters, also known as script injection, which can allow hackers to hijack your website and even destroy your data. You also want to make sure there are not any script or server errors. Are private directories or items that are only registered users able to access password protected? Is customer and membership data stored online? If so, is the database appropriately safeguarded against external access? There are a few other technical considerations when developing a website. One of these is performance. How quickly does your site load? Users are impatient and don't want to sit around waiting for your website to come up. Along these lines, hosting is another factor. What technologies and languages will your website be using, and how will they be hosted? Will the hosting be dedicated or shared with other businesses? Next, will your website be using a content management system or CMS that will allow you to update your own content, or will you have to call up your nephew every time you want to change something on your site? Lastly, what other custom items will be included in your website to achieve your business goals? Will you have a blog, calendar, newsletter, shopping cart, or e-commerce system, etc.? The final big consideration for a great website is marketing. You can build a great website, but nobody will come to it if they don't know about it. Is your website properly optimized for search engines? Is essential text emphasized? Are title tags relevant? Are outbound links reliable and contextually related? Are you using email marketing and other advertising correctly and efficiently to drive traffic to your site? Is your content compelling? Does it contain elements designed to encourage future or even viral visitation, such as contests, newsletters, and share or tell a friend features? Finally, is all your content written with a clear action that achieves your business goals, such as getting more user signups, downloads, or purchases? I know I've gone over a lot of items, but in fact, there are many more questions that need to be considered and answered when building a website. I have just scratched the surface, but wanted to be aware of these items before you go out and ask your nephew to build you a website. If you're looking for help building your website, feel free to contact the experts here at Bayshore Solutions, and we will gladly assist you in setting up the best website for your business. Thanks for listening.